Hi, I'm Lynn Bridgeford from Aether Bios, and today in our series on mental health and coaching, we're going to talk about coaching. What is it? So there are many different kinds of coaching, and in some way we are all coaches. So the mother or the father that teaches their child how to do something, there's directive coaching where we teach a skill, how to dance, how to play music, how to fold a napkin. There's directions and step-by-step instructions of how to do something. That is a form of coaching. A lot of sport is coaching. There will be mental coaching around sport and how to cope with being a top sporter. This is all a kind of coaching. Not everybody who coaches has a diploma in coaching. It's something most of us do naturally to some form or another. So directive coaching, as I said, is how to do something. Whatever skill it is you want to teach, or steps of a skill, you might break it down. For example, I've done a lot of dancing and dance teaching to learn a whole routine, and the same in music. You break it down into little pieces and you learn that, and then you put the different pieces together to make a piece of music or a piece of dance choreography. Similarly, when we're teaching children language, we don't necessarily sit down and teach children how to speak because they learn by mimicking. And I did an experiment when I was learning to speak Dutch, and I didn't want to have to translate, and I didn't want to learn from a book. So of course I had to learn a little bit from a book, and then I decided if I learned like a child, just by mimicking, that it would probably stand me in good stead. So I did read a little bit, and I had a little bit of a background of speaking a Dutch-like language or understanding it from my upbringing. I had no knowledge or experience of speaking Dutch. So I would use phrases, make them sound a bit Dutch. I would just feel like sometimes I was making it up. And when it comes to tenses, there's male or female, I decided to be relaxed about it, and I had 50% chance of being right, so I didn't want to get hung up on I've learnt languages in a classroom and I found it quite boring. So I was coaching myself, and I was allowing other people to coach me, which is something that happened naturally. And my neighbour told me that if I said something incorrectly, she would say that correctly in the next sentence without stopping me, and then I would autocorrect. And if you think about it, that's what we do when we teach children how to speak. We don't keep stopping them, we will just say something in a more eloquent and more correct way, and then they will mimic and get that. So that's a kind of indirect direct coaching that parents and teachers do naturally. So when it comes to coaching, going to a coach, a life coach, a business coach, a well-being coach, whatever kind of coach you might want to go to, what's the difference there? So there may be some directive coaching where there are skills to be learnt. Very often it's like having a conversation with a friend where you can hear yourself better. And the difference with perhaps counselling and coaching, or hypnotherapy and coaching, is that it's not therapy, it's empowering the person to have the skills to find their own solutions. So a lot of coaching can be solutions based. And there are models that we work with. We work with transaction analysis, we work with INLP. There are different models that can be applied, and we've talked about some of the questionnaires we can fill in to find out how we operate in certain circumstances and how that can interact with someone else. They aren't techniques, they are understanding. So having a coaching session isn't about sitting down and going through necessarily a step-by-step process. The coach will find out what are your needs. Is it to structure a business aim? Is it to learn to do something for yourself? Is it to gain confidence, be more assertive? It might be in a workplace to have two people get on better, or to have a whole team of people get on better, and it gets more complex. And then we chunk it down into bite-sized pieces and see, what can we do today? What would the aim be? There's always an element of good contracting, so we want to find out what's okay, what's not okay. Would you like me to just listen to you? Would you like me to challenge you? Would you like me to point out when you contradict yourself? It's really up to what is needed in the session. So it's very much about what the person is seeking and what the coach can help them achieve. And there may be tasks. If a coaching session is chunked into a few different sessions, there may be bits of homework in between to have a go with something, and there may be some skill sets that can be worked with, or some ideas, some mind maps. The possibilities in coaching are literally endless, depending on what somebody needs, what they want, and how we can work together to help someone feel empowered to gain that knowledge or that insight or that skill that they need. So I find coaching a wonderful skill. I've been coaching my entire life in one way or another, and I love that process of assisting and empowering people, giving them some tips, some suggestions, letting them hear themselves and letting them come up with their own best solutions. The outcome of a session may lead to another session, which could be days, weeks, months, any time in the future that will be agreed. And in some coaching cycles, the coach may be available between times for a quick chat or a WhatsApp or a quick phone call, as long as there are good boundaries set about what are the limits and what is acceptable and what is helpful. I love having coaching to help me clarify what I need, what I want, where I want to be, and how to have some ideas to get there. So if you're looking for some empowerment or some suggestions or some solutions that can come from inside you with a little bit of help and prompting, have a go with coaching. Thank you so much.